What did I say? علم الرجال للرجال. We're good? Or no?
Can you come for a sec? Do you like that?
Yes, nice.
Why do you do this?
ها؟
ليش بتعقد حواجبك؟
لازم نفكر شوي قبل أن نقول كلام. Exactly. You're accountable for anything. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. So in this the first section we had talked about what? What was the goal?
To make sure that there's no mistake and lies.
Okay, good. So the first goal behind the discussion, or even talking about before we get into Tadween, before we get into why the science was compiled, before we talk about how it was compiled, it's very important to understand, is the method and the methodology of the muhaddithin logically sound or not? Right, that was the entire purpose of it. So very quickly, if we walk through the conditions of a sound narration, of a sahih narration, what is the first condition? قبله. Before اتصال السند.
The narrator must be
Right, so the narrator needs to be what? Pious, right? Adil. And the second one? Dabit, that he is what? He is precise. Now, the next one is going to be that every level of the chain, it needs to be what? It needs to be connected, right? So these are the first three. So now that we have these first three, the first condition, when we say that a narrator is righteous, this removes the chance for what? Concerning the narration? Lying, right? This takes care of the lying portion. And if we say that he is precise, this removes or lessens the chance for making mistakes. طيب, in اتصال السند, in having a connected chain, right? So it's basically it connects the previous two conditions. طيب, after that, now that I have these two conditions, where on every single level of the chain, I have people who are righteous and people who are precise. What do I need to do after that? Adam al-shudud and Adam al-illa. So these two conditions, what do they tell us? What am I looking for? Because basically, if I have a chain now and I look at the sanad and I see that this is ضابط عادل, ضابط عادل, ضابط عادل, خلاص, the hadith is sahih or no?
It's prima facie, right?
Okay, sure. Superficially, it's sahih. What do I explore now? What do I need to look into? If somebody comes to you and be like, okay, what do I need to look into now? You guys told me that as long as you have thiqa equals sahih. I'm sorry? The illa. What is an illa? A mistake where?
In the context and in the text.
Right, there's a mistake. There's a mistake either in the text or in the or in the
process.
Not in the process. If the process is a mistake, in khalas, we have to throw hadith out the window. In the chain itself, right? Because remember, we said when we look at the construct of the hadith is only consists of two parts. The first part is the chain, and the second part is the text. And if I say that there's an illah, if I say that there's a defect, and when we say that a defect, we say that there is a hidden defect. Why do we say that it's a hidden defect? How come it's not an apparent one?
Because you have to look twice to see.
You have to look twice. Allahu Akbar.
I mean, like, it's not.
You literally translating nadar thani.
You compare to other
Yeah.
sources.
I'm sorry?
You compare to with
Right.
other sources.
So you have to compare it to what?
Cross-reference.
You have to cross-reference with other hadith. Right? I have to cross-reference this hadith with other ones. In the moment I start cross-referencing, so if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chains, how does that benefit me? And what am I cross-referencing? Yes?
You'll see the meaning might be...
So now I get a little bit more depth, make sure that, okay, is the meaning being relayed? It's relatively the same. So if I find 7 chains, they're relatively the same, and then I have one that is different.
You can say,
right, this one I could probably
take it out.
take it out. And I can go with these 7. Also, these 7 chains, how do they go? So some of them, they'll look, right? They'll go like this, and then they'll branch. Some of this one, they'll go further, and they'll branch. Some of them, they'll branch further, and then they'll go down. When I have these different chains, the person who it's being discussed, this is called a madar. This is called the person who the hadith is being relayed around, because he is the main narrator or the main transmitter of this particular hadith. And when I have those corroborating narrations, it gives me more what? It gives me more yaqeen. It gives me more confidence in that chain. It gives me more confidence in that statement of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This last condition that we spoke about, when does that come in?
The 7 that you spoke, the one that you left.
The one that I left. So, even in that scenario, we said that an illah becomes apparent when I have what? When I can cross-reference. طيب, what if I only have one chain? What if I can't cross-reference? This is where I start looking into these loan reports. And we said when I deal with loan reports, what are some of the secondary mechanisms, or what are some of the supportive evidences I can use to help me strengthen a singular or loan report?
So you make sure it's taking the time worth the hadith to...
Okay, so that's the first thing I have to look at. Is it worth investigating?
Yeah,
right? Is it worth investigating? So we... Yeah, sure. No. So how do I know if it's worth investigating or not? Right, we talked about 4 things. So what were those 4 things we mentioned on whether it's worth investigating or not? Yes?
One is public good, meaning how important and urgent is it?
How important or urgent is this issue, right? So if we say it's something related to the 5 pillars, is that something important and urgent? Yeah. What are the chances that we get a very unique loan report concerning an issue about 5 prayers? So like for example, all of the hadith that we have, right? We have different ways. What are the 3 general ways that have been narrated to us on how to stand in prayer? How to stand in prayer. After I say Allahu Akbar, where do I put my hands? I can do sadal, I can leave them to the side. I can do qabd, and even qabd, it can be in 2 places, right? Above or below the navel. طيب, I have a narration that says you pray like this.
What about this?
What about this?
Oh, the heart one? I like that one. I like that one, man. You guys ever seen that one? It's like where you go like this. It's like you zoom in on the heart. Yeah, it's like, he's elbowing you too. Like, no, it's my heart, man. It's important. So if I have a narration where it says like he prayed with his hands on his waist.
That's a hero.
Superman.
This one's a hero. The Superman. The Superman prayer. So over here, what am I going to do with that narration? I'm going to reject it automatically, right? I don't even need to think about it. Why?
Because you have other hadith that already...
Not just other hadith. They're hadith in an issue that what? Right, it's impossible, right? It's impossible that this one narration snuck through all of these, like this volume and these encyclopedias of narration that talk about how to pray.
That subject's been covered, basically.
Right, the subject's been covered. Like, it's been covered totally. What is something else that I can look to help me decide if this is worth investigating or it has that strength?
Precision.
I'm sorry?
Precision.
Precision, right? Meaning that we look at how precise this narrator is. And in general, when we had talked about adala and dhabt, when we talked about righteousness and precision, can I go up to someone and be like, okay, 7, 5? Can I do that with people? How do I measure a person? How did they